Hello everyone. I am going to be doing a live Facebook training today for all of my wife sisters. I personally feel that this information can be utilized in your private life. It can be used in no matter what network marketing business you are in. It can be used in any corporation. It doesn't matter what you are doing. This information can be utilized the same exact way. So this is something that I feel so strongly about, and I am so excited to be able to talk on this because it is honestly my journey. It is my life story, and it is something that I preach to my team, to my wife sisters, to everyone around me. And it is about making your reason for succeeding bigger than your reason to give up. Your excuses on why it won't work, why anything could go wrong. So I promise I will try to answer some of your questions if I can, but I have a lot to say, and in order to stay on track and make sure that I cover everything that I want to cover, I'm going to try to laser focus on the information for right now. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much to Kai Lauren for putting this all together. This is going to be my 1-year anniversary as a Black status leader at the top of the company. So I'm super excited because November was a big month last year. It was a very trying month, but it was also one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. So I am super excited to share how I did it and how it all came into play. So the biggest thing that I want to tell you guys is you have to be invested into your business more than just for yourself. You have to be invested in it you have to be working it for more than just yourself. And what I mean by that is if you are just doing it for self-gratification, awesome. But that is not going to keep you motivated, and it is not going to keep you pushing through the hard times. So in life, in business, whatever it is, you have to hold yourself accountable for making a difference and making a change when you see that things aren't working anymore. And so a little backstory about myself. I won't go into full detail. If you want to know my life story and how I got to where I am, I've got plenty of live feeds on it. But I was in a very negative place in my life before I found Younique. I was one of those people that aired my dirty laundry on Facebook. I had cryptic messages where I would not give people the details of what was going on, but I kind of wanted to have a pity party for myself. I made excuses for why my life wasn't where it was supposed to be. I played victim a lot. I was just a negative person to be around, and it affected everything around me, and it took me being on the flip side of it all to realize what was happening in my life. So you have to hold yourself accountable if you want to see a change in your life. And you have to be able to build up a mindset. And in order to get yourself in the right mindset, this sounds like, oh my God. I thought you were going to say that my sound wasn't working. I was like, oh no. You have to be in the right mindset. And in order to get into the right mindset, you have to know why you are here, why you are doing it, what gets you out of bed every morning, what gets you excited about life. You have to be doing it for more than just yourself. And so getting in touch with why you are doing anything in your life, why you want to lose weight, why you want to get out of debt, whatever it is, you have to dig deeper into understanding what it is that you are doing it for. So when I first started with Younique, we were struggling financially, but I had made excuses for my entire life. I had made excuses of why I didn't deserve success or why I was the way I was. I didn't go to college like my sister. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I just made excuse after excuse after excuse. And it wasn't until I found this opportunity that something switched in my mind. And I'm not exactly sure what switched, but I honestly believe that God put this into my life for a reason, and that it was meant to make something bigger. I'm going to try not to cry because we're not here to cry today, okay? But something switched. I finally, for this first time in my life, was like, enough is enough. I cannot just sit back and continue to make excuse after excuse after excuse. I have to put one foot in front of the other, and I have to take action if I am going to actually change something in my life. So when I joined, I dove head first. There was no turning back. I was like, okay, I'm doing this. By my 1 year, I'm going to be Black status. No question about it. Done, done, done. And as I continued on, I promoted very quickly in the beginning of my business, and I was like, okay, we're going to do this. This is awesome. And then after hitting green, our leadership status in Younique, 3 months in, I was stuck. I was doing everything that I was supposed to. I was eating, sleeping, and breathing this business. I was reaching out to people. I was posting about it. I was doing everything that we train our teams to do. I was living this business, and I wasn't advancing. And all of a sudden, all those doubts started to come into play. You're not good enough. You're not outgoing enough. You aren't pretty enough. All of those doubts that we have been trained to believe our entire life start coming into play when you're not hitting things like you think you're supposed to. Because in your mind, you've got this journey that is going to happen X, Y, and Z at A, B, and C time. You have it all planned out in your head, but it doesn't always go as you plan. And so all those doubts started creeping in, and I could have given up. I really could have, but I continued to push past those obstacles. I continued to push harder than I did in the very beginning. I didn't let off of the gas pedal, and I kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And the reason that I did that was because I knew why I was doing this. I knew that I was doing this for someone more than just myself. Okay, this is where Megan might cry. Megan might get a little emotional. I vividly remember in the very beginning hearing Amber Voigt say something along these lines. This isn't verbatim, but she said, when you are able to look your why in the eye and tell them that you give up, then you can quit. And that has always really resonated with me, because my why is my family. My why is my kids. My why is to give them a better life. And so I am not just invested into this company for me. They are my why. They are why I do this. So when she said that, it hit me. I could not look my children in the eye and say that I gave up. It got too hard. So I wasn't going to be able to provide them a better life. I wasn't going to be able to give them the life that they deserved. I wasn't going to be able to give them those cool vacations and all of the cool things that I always wanted to give my family. And so when you, oh gosh, my makeup is too fabulous to cry today, guys. When you know your why and you know what gets you up out of bed every morning, even when everything gets hard, and when you start to doubt yourself and things aren't going as planned, and maybe someone says something mean to you, or they try to bash you, or they mock you. Anytime that something gets hard, that is you being tested by the devil, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys are religious at all. I am not the most religious person ever. But I honestly believe that sorry, phone call came in. I am being tested because I'm doing something good. I am doing something that is for the greater good of other people. And it's about more than just me. So when you are able to laser focus on your why and realize that you cannot give up until the day that you can look them in the eye and tell them that you quit. Because if you are that invested into your why, you will never be able to stop. You deserve it. You deserve it. You owe it to yourself to not give up, but you also owe it to the people that you're doing it for. The people whose maybe lives you are about to impact, but you don't realize it yet. The people that are waiting for you to reach out to them, or maybe post an inspirational quote. that resonates with them, that they needed on that day so that they didn't give up. You have to continue to push forward for your why. And it has to be bigger than any excuse. Are there days that I just want to sit back on my couch and eat bonbons? Heck yeah. Are there days that I don't feel like working out? I would rather go get wings and beer? Heck yes. But if you want it bad enough and you know why you're doing it, you won't give up and you won't create a artificial stopping point for yourself that you aren't supposed to stop at. I always tell my team that when you feel like you are about to give up, that is when you are about to make a breakthrough. That is when you have to push the hardest. And in order to be able to push your hardest and put forth your maximum effort, you have to know why you are doing it. If you don't know what you're working for or why you're doing it or why you are so invested in this company, you need to take a step back and figure out what it is. And again, this is across the board. This is not just network marketing. This is not just my business or my company. This is life. Shit gets hard sometimes, and I am sorry for the potty mouth, but life is not easy. You are going to be thrown obstacles. You are going to be thrown mountains that you have to overcome, and you are going to have to take detours that take longer than maybe you expected. But if you're in the right mindset and you know your why, nothing can stop you from that. So going back to that story, I continue to push. I continue to know that if I put in the work now, if I pushed harder than I ever thought possible, one day it was going to pay off. And yes, it took time. I watched my pacing partners bypass me. I watched my upline and my best friend, Kylie. She promoted to black. I watched her sponsor, Liz, promote to black. I watched Karen Newton. She was one of my pacing partners. We joined within days of each other. I watched her hit black in like 7 months. I watched Melissa Salomon hit black. All these people that I was running with in the beginning, that I told myself I was going to hit black by my 1 year, it didn't happen that way. And I watched them. And so you have to know why you're doing it and be strong enough to overcome that comparison. Yeah, they hit it, but they had a different starting point than I did. I had different circumstances. I had a different network. It doesn't always happen the way that you want it to, but it doesn't discredit your worth. It doesn't discredit what you're capable of. It doesn't discredit why you are even here. It doesn't discredit anything. Your journey is your own, and you have to be able to know why you're doing it. So finally, after being stuck at Green for 9 months, which was probably one of the most impactful 9 months, it was a time of self-discovery. It was a time of learning what I was capable of and pushing myself to the limits. After 9 months, we finally were able to promote to Orange. It was so amazing to finally be able to get over that hump and be able to look in hindsight and be like, okay, there was a reason why I was at Green for 9 months. Whatever you are going through in your journey right now, life or business, there is a reason. You don't know that reason. And you can't question that reason, because there is a reason why you are going through every little thing in your life. And it takes you getting through it and overcoming it to be able to understand it. So yes, my pride was wounded by being stuck at Green for 9 months, watching all of my pacing partners and my friends promote while I was stuck. But that showed me what I was capable of. I wasn't ready to be at the next level because I wasn't the leader I was meant to be yet. I still needed to grow as a leader. I needed to be able to experience what it felt like to be stuck so that I could relate to other people on my team being stuck the same way. I needed to know how it felt to be discouraged and to overcome those negative thoughts and to keep pushing. So whatever it is that you are going through in your business or your life right now, don't question why. Just focus on your why. Get back in touch with why you started or what you're fighting for, and just focus on that, because once you're on the other side of it, it will make so much more sense. So we finally promoted after 9 months to orange. The next month we promoted to purple. And then I spent another 7 months at purple before I hit the top of the company. So obviously I was well past my 1 year plan of hitting the top of the company, but it still happened. Just because it took me longer than other people doesn't discredit my worth of being at the top of the company. Just because it took me 17 months versus like 7 months doesn't mean that I am any less of a leader. So whatever it is that you are going through or trying to overcome, or maybe it's taking you longer than you expected, sit down today and I want you to really get back in touch with why you started in the first place. Because your why will never fail you. It is what you need to get you over those humps. It is what you need to get started in the first place sometimes. Because it's scary taking action. It's scary making changes in your life. But that why is going to push you to get started when you need it the most. And it is going to be what keeps you moving. So every single time that you are doubting yourself, or you want to give up and you want to throw in the towel and you think that maybe it's not worth it, maybe it's not fighting for, I want you to think about what I said earlier. When you can look your why in the eye and tell them that you quit or that you give up because it got too hard, then maybe you can walk away. But if you cannot physically imagine yourself looking your why in the eye and telling them that you quit, then you're not ready. You don't want to give up. That in itself is telling you right now that you don't want to give up, because you don't want to let that why down. You know that you're working for more than just yourself. You're working for others. You are impacting other people's lives in a way that you may never even understand. There are so many people out there that maybe need to hear exactly what you're struggling with in order to be able to overcome their struggles. So, you have to know your why. Sit down and ask yourself questions. Why did I get started? What do I want more of? What do I want less of? Who do I want to be in my life? If I were to die tomorrow, and I'm not trying to make this be like a really Debbie Downer. If you were to die tomorrow, what do you want people to remember you for? What kind of memories do you want people to have of you? Do you want them to remember the impact that you had on their life? It's not going to be about the things. It's not going to be about your looks. It's going to be about the impact that you made on their life. So I want you to really think about the deep things of why you are where you are today. And if you're not happy with where you are today, change it. You're not a tree. You can get up and move, right? And I think there's a quote about that. Like, you're not a tree. You can get up and move. You can make changes. You can start today to make changes for tomorrow. Whatever it is, go away, Jeremy. My husband, I swear to God. You can make the change. You get to be the change. No one else gets to decide for you. But when you are in that mindset and you know why you're doing everything, you will never give up. You can't fail your why. You can't fail yourself. You have to be invested for more than just that. And you have to always remember that. Never forget why you started in the first place. So, I had a bunch of notes, but let me make sure that I covered everything. And I mean, a lot of people think that once you hit the top of the company that like it's all like sunshine and rainbows. And I mean, there's still times that I doubt myself. I doubt whether I belong there. I doubt whether I'm giving my team the best that I can. You're always going to have those doubts. You are always going to have that devil in your ear saying, you're not good enough. You don't deserve this. But you have to be in the right mindset to be able to know that you do. And to be able to be like, shut up. No, you're wrong. Okay? So a lot of this journey has been about self-discovery and personal development for me. So being able to get yourself in the right mindset is going to help you overcome any obstacle. And it's not going to be easy. I'm not saying that this is like a band-aid for hardship, but it's definitely going to make it more bearable, and it's going to strengthen you more than anything, so that when future hardships arise, you're like, I got this. I can do this. One final thing is, when you're pushing in November, this is the biggest month of the year. This is the holidays. November to remember. It is always my favorite time of year. So there is no better time for me to have been pushing for black than last November. And it did not happen easily. It did not happen quite the way I thought it would. October 31st, my husband went in for an emergency appendix surgery. So obviously that kind of threw a wrench in my plans. He was off work for a little bit. Then I got sick. It was just a cold, but it was a cold that lasted for like probably 3 months. I think come February, I was still having issues. It wasn't fully gone. My children had gotten sick. It was literally one thing after another. And I kept telling myself, I am being tested right now because I am doing something amazing. I am changing lives right now, and I am bettering myself, and that's why the devil's trying to test me right now. And I kept telling myself, you're being tested because you're on the right path. He only tests people that make him feel like he is failing. When you make him feel like he is not able to control what you're doing, he tries to stop you. He tries to put a wrench in your plans. And I knew that I was doing the right thing and I was on the right path. And that's why I was being tested. So whatever you're going through right now, you're being tested because you're doing something good. Whether you just started your business and maybe people aren't buying from you, or maybe people are saying negative things to you, you're being tested because you're trying to better yourself. He always tries to test you when you are making positive changes in your life. So, at the end of the day, know your why and never forget it. That is my biggest thing. If you can get a grasp, a really good, like, manhandle grasp on your why, you will be able to overcome anything. You will always be able to get back and refocus on that mindset that you need to hold yourself accountable and to know your worth and to put forth your full potential. So hopefully this helps someone who needed a little bit of extra push this month, because this is the month to make it happen. If there is ever any month to make big dreams happen, it is always, always, always November. So do not think that you are not capable, because you are capable of anything that you put your mind to. Anything at all. If you push yourself and you stay in touch with your why, and you do it with passion, and you do it with integrity, and you do it with consistency, and you just have freaking fun with it, you are unstoppable. And so hopefully this was helpful. Feel free to share it if you liked it. Share it with your team, share it with your friends, whatever it is. I love you guys, and feel free to message me if you have any more questions, and I will talk to you later. Bye.